in order to have my signature verified, or my support declaration verified in Austria, I have to be Austrian citizen.
Yes.
Now, let's assume I'm a UK subject living in Vienna. Where do I count?
Well, it depends on what the UK rules say.
Well, that's interesting, because the UK rules say in Annex 3 that I have to be, in order to count on the UK contingent, a UK permanent resident. So if I'm a UK subject living in Vienna, you will tell me, nope, go back to Britain. The British will, on the other hand, say, my dear man, you are not a permanent resident in the United Kingdom. In fact, this issue concerns about 11 million citizens residing in the European Union. There's been a paper published by Mr. Stein and Professor Müller-Törek, I think well over a year ago, and they estimated about 11 million European Union citizens residing in the European Union. We're not talking about somebody in Swaziland. EU citizens residing in the EU who simply cannot support an ECI, who cannot exercise a citizen's right granted to them by the Treaty of Lisbon, because Annex 3 has been drafted in an inconsistent way.
If somebody manages to break into your online collection system and steals data, who of the 27 public prosecutors in the member states, who is in charge? Is it the English Queen's Council because it were data on an English server? Is it the public prosecutor in Slovakia because the backup server was in Slovakia? Who is in charge of prosecuting you? Then you are 7. Which one should be prosecuted? Anyone picked randomly? The Welses, the one who lives in Germany. Robert Stein, for example, he will prosecute the one to whom he has the easiest access. Hey, you are Austrian. Got you. And the first legal limbo Alexander mentioned is, it's explicit in the Constitution of the United States that all individuals are created equal. I suppose it's also a fundamental principle of the European Union that all the citizens are equal, but they are not, because it's me on the left side. I have the choice whether I sign up for the contingent on the German ticket or on the Austrian ticket. And if I sign up and support on the wrong ticket, probably the whole ECI could fail because the Austrian contingent is one statement of support too short, because I signed up on the other side, on the German side, where they already had millions of statements. Legal limbo number 2, I called it casino democracy. We have 4 different statements of support. I supported it, but I misspelled my address. I couldn't get Claudia to sign it, but I'm so sure she likes cows and there is no electronic signature needed for a statement of support online collection. I know her personal data because I have an excellent relationship with her. So I key in her data. Whoop, done. Third one, Stewart. As a good Englishman, he must not support on the Austrian or British ticket, but he doesn't like cows, and when he returns from the pub, he keys into the system without any electronic signature, without everything. Donald Duck, duck down, British national. Whoop. The fourth one, Domenica, she doesn't speak Italian, she gives her statement of support on the German form. I believe, we can discuss it later, all of the 4 are totally illegal and should not be counted. But thanks to what I call casino democracy, if the random sampling roulette goes round and those 4 are not checked, they will be valid and remain undetected. Is that what we want to have in Europe? And the third one, I believe it's the best. The regulation states that 1 month after submitting the verification certificates from the 27 authorities to the European Commission, the organizers must destroy all data physically and electronically. This means if you have a lawsuit pending because Mr. Stein from Spain, you have some troubles with him, he doesn't accept some statements of support, you have a lawsuit pending before the administrative courts of Spain. Can this administrative court order your services provider in Slovakia where you have your database, not to destroy it. If it cannot order, and then all the evidence is destroyed. Perfect. I mean, how should that go? If months later someone says, yeah, this is, everything was forged, all the data was wrong. Hey, you cannot prove the opposite because you have no evidence anymore. You destroyed everything. Mr. Stein down in his basement in the election authority, I think he has the ballots from the first elections in 1945 or something like that. At least from the 50s. He keeps them. He's forced to do so by law. That's normal in a democracy, that you keep the ballots and don't destroy them.
Then the internal coordination mechanisms in the Citizens Committee. Today I learned, I mean, one never stops learning, today I learned that it may be the case that if one of those 7 members of the Citizens Committee resigns, dies, somehow gets lost, all the signatures collected to that very point may be invalid. One doesn't know, it's undefined.